Well, hello again. Here we are with some more yes and no answers to a big question. Today's question is should we explore space? I suppose the point is that we spend an awful lot of money on it, and therefore we should decide whether or not it's worthwhile, whether it offers benefit commensurate with its cost. Okay, well, here are some yes answers to it. I suppose most of all, the biggest reason for exploring space is the sheer aspirational enormity of it. We simply have to know what's out there, and we have to encounter the huge challenge and meet the challenge of discovery. This is something that has been with mankind almost since he came out of the cave. Not only is he trying to understand and master his environment, but he has unrivaled curiosity about what's going on around him. That's really worth something because it is of great emotional and even spiritual value. Well, then there are some practical aspects. First of all, there's some interesting technical discovery fallout from our various space programs. The whole idea of solar energy, of more accurate weather prediction, of GPS, the navigational satellites, much of which has arisen because of the space program. There are aspects of security. I suppose space could be weaponized, especially near space, the orbital environment around the Earth. So each country wants to make sure that it has an answer to any such threats. There, of course, are other kinds of threats as well. There are the threat of a possible asteroid hitting the Earth and causing a lot of trouble, or even becoming an extinction event. Well, we are beginning to track those things, and our space program is giving us the tools to do that. Maybe if a really big one comes right at us, there's nothing we can do about it, but perhaps there is. So they're certainly exploring that one. There is also the security issue of the sun. We've encountered a lot of information and threats from the sun, and the more we study the sun, the more we realize that we had jolly well better try and understand it and prepare ourselves for anything that it might throw at us. And of course, we're far more vulnerable now to problems of the sun and major eruptions and so forth from the sun because of all the stuff we have in orbit, which could be perhaps eliminated or at least weakened by a coronal mass ejection. So there's all that stuff. Finally, there is, and this is perhaps a bit of a stretch, but not entirely, there's the notion of a kind of backup of colonization. If things really became too unpleasant here on Earth, perhaps we could all go elsewhere, or at least some of us anyway. Ooh, that'll present a problem. Who gets to go? But in any case, it's not beyond the realm of imagination. Okay, well, those are the some of the yes answers to the question. What about the no ones? Well, I suppose the obvious one is the enormous cost of the space program and the amount of effort that we've put into it. And as some would say, we have enough problems here on Earth, the solutions to which, or at least the mitigation of which, is really a financial one. So if we redeployed that money, maybe we'd have a better life here on Earth. Another argument is the worry that maybe in our various adventures into outer space, particularly in the solar system, we're maybe polluting those places. Maybe we're carrying microorganisms or germs that would make other places uninhabitable or even disrupt their ecologies. A bit reminiscent of what happened when the Europeans first went to the Western Hemisphere with their diseases and wiped out so many of the indigenous people. Another possible objection is the notion that much of what we do, especially beyond the solar system, is really just entertainment. It's great fun to watch all the videos and to hear these fantastic explanations of the hundreds of billions of stars and the billions of galaxies and the fantastic distance they are, and how we then discover with the use of the Hubble telescope and the deep field analyses and investigations that there are billions more galaxies that we didn't even know were there. It's really mind-boggling stuff, but so what? It's really just for fun, isn't it? Finally, there are some, I don't know if I should say grotesque, but some mind-boggling ethical problems associated with space travel. The notion of withstanding the heavy radiation dose, which astronauts, if they go on any really long trips, are bound to suffer from. And of course, we know from some pretty sad past history what a lot of radiation can do to people. There's even this kind of scary notion of one-way tickets. Hard to kind of imagine and think about what the idea of seeing the Earth receding into a small dot as you travel further and further away, how that would affect your psyche, and whether or not that's even a moral issue. Anyway, there's a lot of very scary and disturbing sort of questions of that sort associated with space travel, especially long distance travel. Well, what's my take on all of this? Well, I'm afraid you're going to conclude that I'm a kind of sociopath or a moral Philistine or something when I tell you that I don't really care about most of these arguments, or I think they all kind of cancel each other out. My attraction to the space program, and I really like the space program, is the fantastic excitement that you experience in seeing these pictures of faraway places, of immersing yourself in the huge numbers, distances, calculations that we make as cosmologists, the whole notion of black holes and what is going on there, and how we seem to be discovering more and more about it all the time, and even the astrophysics of orbital mechanics, the notion of slingshot orbital movement as we explore other planets. I really love all that stuff, and that's why I like the idea of exploring space. Okay, well, there it is. You may decide my view on this is insensitive, but I'm just being honest with you. And I hope you did enjoy it. There's certainly a lot of meat in this subject, and there's obviously more to be said. So if you like it, give me a like and comment and subscribe and so forth. And in any case, I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.